Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Roster Roast. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we got a little bit of a weird format going on here because we went into matchmaking and I wasn't paying attention to the time, so we had some screenshots and we're going to make this happen anyway. So we base Roster Roast on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. So we're going to jump right into it. Our buddy JAC has some issues going on with his defense. Right off the bat, he's got power level issues in team number 1. He's got ISO 8 issues. He's got placement is a little wonky. And frankly, I think he's just using the wrong people on this team. So, let's see. Right over here, you've got your shield security, and you need to get medic as far away from shield security as you can when you're running this composition. Now, I've never run it with Kestrel. I know she makes Fury's summons have defense up and death proof, gives them some resistance to the symbiotes. I don't know if it's enough. At this power level, I can tell you it's not enough. What's going on with this team is that Kestrel is 62,000. She's the powerhouse of this team right here, and she's so powerful that people are going to walk in with a bigger team, like a 200 level symbiotes or 300 level symbiotes, any level of symbiotes that has the T4 in Carnage's passive, and they're going to roll over this team regardless of defense up or death proof on Fury's minions. So what you need to do is get the entire team up to 60k each. We can try it with Kestrel. I don't have enough experience to know if it's going to work or not. I think Fury should be a lot more. I think Fury should be like almost 100k if you're going to run him on this defense, because his minions have to be powerful enough that they don't go into the red or they don't die from the Axemen. So assuming that plays out, then you've got shield security. You're going to want to put Coulson next because he gets revived by medic. Then you're going to want to put boy, with Kestrel in here, it changes things, doesn't it? Then you're going to want to put Kestrel here, then Fury, and then medic on the outside. I think that's the way it should go. I think. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Yeah. We'll go security, Coulson, Kestrel, Fury, medic. Okay, then you need to put, you got healer ISOs on medic, but you need to put Raider on everybody else. You could even consider putting Raider on Kestrel on this team for the crit opportunity. I think she's better as a striker because she's just a damage dealer. That's what she does. She deals damage. I don't think any of these people are putting defense down, which doesn't play well into Kestrel's kit. That's unfortunate. She works really well when people are hitting defense down. But the minions are there to attack into the defense downs that Kestrel puts out. So it could still work. It's a weird comp. I think it's a waste. I don't think it's a good team. I think your placement sucks. You're missing your ISOs. Your power levels are all wonky. And then I just think it's an absolute waste of Kestrel's talents. You can use her on offense to do a lot of things to a lot of premium tunes. So I got to give you a D- for this. I think it's a waste of talent. I think you need to take Fury off of defense altogether. His day is past no matter what. Oh, does Coulson apply it? Chat says Coulson applies defense down. So there you go. So I guess there's a little bit of synergy there. But really, I just think this is a crappy team. I think it's a waste of talent. You have her built up to 60k. You can use her. And you should be using her on offense. She's too slow and too vulnerable to attacks on defense. So don't do that. Team number 2 is the Pimtech team. Pimtech is whatever. People don't know how to attack into this team still to this day, just because it's like not a super popular team. If you want to make this team work, build Ghost way up. You can use her elsewhere. She'll carry the team. You've got equal power levels here. I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. You should have Ant-Man and his daughter on outside end. So swap places with Ant-Man and Ghost. Let's see. What ISOs do we have on this? You've got Skirmisher on her. Skirmisher, Skirmisher, Striker. So, okay. And then Raider on Wasp. I think you should change Stature to a healer, but Skirmisher is okay. Otherwise, those ISOs work. Your power levels are even across the team, which makes it interesting. I don't think I've ever seen an evenly powered Pimtech team. It's kind of interesting. Placement is okay. It's just, you're not going to be using this team on offense. It's a good filler. It's something people are going to have to work on. I think they're going to have to bring in something to go up against this, but they don't have to put too much thought into it. It's mostly make sure that Ghost doesn't get on a roll. And your Ghost isn't too overly powered. So for you, I would say swap the placement on Ant-Man and Ghost and bring your Ghost level power way up. Otherwise, I think it's actually okay. Yeah, I'm going to say B+ on this team, actually. I don't have too many problems with it. Team number 3 is, I'm used to looking over at this monitor, but everything's all different today, so I'm all over the place. Team number 3 is the Hydra Red Skull team. They're making a comeback. The reason people are bringing Hydra Red Skull out is to absorb some of the resources that might be needed elsewhere. I'm talking about that Heroes for Hire that everybody's building on, or maybe building on, or going back and forth on. But either way, Hydra Red Skull is making a comeback. You got a nice power level here. It's a pretty evenly based team. Placement on this team isn't such a big deal anymore. I've kind of found no matter where you put them, you're going to do, you know, one of 3 things. You're going to come in with a bit of a punch down of a team that can control this and overcome all those charges. You're going to come in with a Inhumans team and just ping them off, or like I guess you could use a Kestrel team now, since Kestrel does the same thing, but Black Bolt is where it's at. Or you're going to come in with power armor on a punch across and get that defense down on Red Skull and take them out. That's kind of tricky, but like, I punch down with my power armor into this all the time, because where the hell else are you going to use power armor? All right. I think that you should change places, however. You should put Hydra Red Skull where your Trooper is, and put your Sniper where your Hydra Red Skull is. So rotate that 3-piece 1 notch, and I think you'll be okay there. I actually have been having some fun putting like Fortifier on everybody, but this is a team that it doesn't matter too much what ISOs you use. It's kind of like just play around with it and have fun. There's so many different combinations that have a decent enough argument that I can't dock anybody for any kind of placement. I think like Trooper with Raider or Striker is a good fit. Healer on your Scientist is a good fit. Skirmisher on your Sniper is interesting. I would have gone either Healer or Striker, because he's doing one of 2 moves. One of the moves doesn't do damage. The other move is single target damage. So I think maybe Striker is a bit better choice there. Striker on Red Skull is fine. You can also do Healer. You can do Fortifier. All sorts of weird stuff works. I kind of like putting Fortifier on Red Skull, because if somebody comes in with a power armor and Tony can't finish it off, the whole team, the whole thing was for nothing, and they wasted it. Because if he doesn't die, that defense down goes away, and then they start picking apart that power armor team, and it's very frustrating when that happens. So that's why I kind of like Fortifier on Red Skull. Otherwise, this is one of those teams where it's very elastic scoring on this team. Like, you just get them in there and get them even power, and you're gonna get like at least a D+, you know. But actually, I think this is actually a C for this team. Like, there's room for improvement in every area. I'm even gonna give you a C+, 'cause I'm feeling pretty good today. C+ for this team. It's not bad. All right. Now we got the Mercs with Shuri and Killmonger. You got interesting. Okay. I don't like some of your ISOs. I don't like some of your placement. Your power levels are pretty good. Your overall power is kind of nice. So keep Skirmisher on Striker, or keep Skirmisher on Taskmaster. That's good. But you need to change your shield, not shield, your guard here, your tank, your Riot Guard. Thank you. There it goes. Your Riot Guard. He needs to change to healer. I think you put Fortifier on here to help protect against the opening blast from the X-Force. It's not a bad choice if that's the case, because he's the least powerful. But he's got a pretty big health bar to begin with, so that 49,000 being the lowest power is kind of deceiving. In fact, your Taskmaster is probably going to take more damage on that opening blast anyways. I think you should change him to healer. I think you should just bring up the power levels of these three characters to match your Killmonger and your Shuri. Bring them up there into the 70,000 power range. And this is going to be a really formidable defense. You can keep healer on Lieutenant, healer on Shuri. Striker is good here. I think you should put either healer or striker on Riot Guard. He only attacks like 1 every 3 turns or something, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, maybe just put striker on everybody except for Shuri and keep her a healer. Yeah, but the thing that you absolutely have to do is you've got to swap places with Taskmaster and Lieutenant. There's no argument there. You need to have Lieutenant in the middle so that he has 2 adjacent people, and when the adjacent people get attacked, it triggers some of his passive and he puts more healing out there. So you definitely got to switch those. Otherwise, it's not too bad. I kind of like this. Yeah, a little bit of room for improvement. That's a B- on that team. Not too bad. And now I need to switch my screenshots to this one. And we're coming over here to team number 5. Team number 5 is a Wave 1 Avengers. You've got rounded out power levels here. That's pretty good. I do not like Tony Stark in this position. I think he's terrible on this team. I think you need to have Thor on this team. And I'm not seeing Thor anywhere else on your defense. So get Thor in there ASAP. He works way better. And then you're going to want to make sure that your Hulk and your Thor and your Captain America are the biggest. Right now, they are, assuming your Thor is pretty big. You want to swap places with... You want Captain America on the outside, then Hulk, then Black Widow, then Thor, and then Hawkeye is going to be your placement. You got your Strikers, Skirmisher combo on these 2. That's good. You've got healers on your tanks. That's good. You've got Raider on Tony Stark, which for this composition is correct, but you're going to want to put... You're going to want to put Thor in there instead, and he is going to also be a Raider. And then, yeah, that's it. Otherwise, you're doing really good. You just got to swap this character out and adjust your placement a little bit. It's a good team. It scales well, too, so you can keep investing in them. They're good at higher levels, especially if you get some of the stuff into Captain America. Some of the T4s of Captain America are really prominent. They really make it shine. So I like that one. I'm going to give you a B for that team. Moving on, team number 6, we've got Ock Sinister 6. Okay, so you've got Rhino adjacent to Ock because you want him to help cleanse if somebody puts like an ability block or a heal block on him. And that's a way to do it. I find that cleanse doesn't pop off enough to really work. So I just like keeping Rhino to the outside. Although his taunt comes in so late anymore, it's kind of immaterial. Let's see, the biggest thing wrong with this team is that you've got Mysterio in it. He's now a liability with the Axemen and with symbiotes and teams that feed off of multiple targets. Even X-Factor, that works in their advantage when he dies. And my headset just died for no reason at all. Okay. When he dies, he puts out his mirror copies, 2 or 3 of them out there, and then X-Factor has more targets to crit on, just like how Ock, summons somebody. So X-Factor goes into this team pretty well also, although there's better teams to put your X-Factor against. I like your ISOs. These are all pretty good. I just think you should swap this guy out for whoever has the most red stars, whether it be Green Goblin or Vulture. And your placement is pretty good. I personally would swap Rhino with Swarm and keep those 2 adjacent to Ock because they're a little bit more squishy and they can use those to flex. Again, your power levels are good. You've got Ock built up real high. He's a healer. You should definitely take him to level 5 healer. It makes all the difference in the world. And yeah, so again, this is a B- on this team only because that Mysterio is such an incredible liability. Finally, we've got Defenders. Defenders on defense just pisses me off. This is the saddest part of your defense right here is that you've got defenders on here. Okay, you got this huge Daredevil, which would be working great on your Shadowlands offense. You've got these two guys, which are built up and going to be primed and ready for your heroes for hire. So great job there. Just don't be using them yet. Punisher for your skill military. They got that rework. They're running pretty good now. People are bragging about him, okay? I still think it's a luxury team, but he's useful. With those 7 red stars, that's a team you should be investing in, okay? JJ is... whatever. JJ's JJ. Who cares? But this is just a trash team. People come on here with like a 300 Brotherhood, like Brotherhood old school, and just wipe these guys off the mat. You're just giving them points. So... get rid of this, figure out your ISOs for the Heroes for Hire team and get those on Iron Fist and Luke Cage. JJ, you can do whatever you want with JJ. We haven't figured out a 5th for the Heroes for Hire team, but I don't know. Raider and Striker on him. I mean, he's got those red stars, so Striker's probably a good choice there. I hate seeing this team because they're so old. They're just so old. Get rid of these geezers. Put something fresh in here. You've got some pretty good ideas going back here, and you seem to know some mechanics. Either that or you're just getting lucky with some of your ideas, but get rid of this old team. Put something fresh in here. I don't like it. I'm going to give you a D for this just because I hate... D for defenders. That's going to be the standard now. D for defenders. Okay. Last up, we have Emmarauders. Fantastic. I like this. I like this. It's interesting that you're getting so many heals out there, and there's no problem with this. Healer is a choice for Strife. I personally like putting the barrier on him, but it's the second choice, so you don't get docked for taking something that works. Healer on these 3 is what they should be, and then you've got Skirmisher on Mystique because her job is to steal and flip and cleanse and stuff. So yeah, I think that you should change your placement. I think you should maybe swap Sinister with Mystique. Maybe. That's not even that bad. Sinister's going to heal up so much. That even works too. I like this this Minerva. For those of you that don't know, you put Minerva on here. It helps with the X Factor team. They can't bring in multiple man because Minerva will feed off of all the dupes that get destroyed. Giving them health and her turn meter, so that helps. Although there's so many other people you can bring in with the X Factor. You just bring in the dad bros and some other stuff that crits, and you're gonna wipe this team out still. But that's the thing to do. All that health really gives this team some sustainability. So yeah, and Mystique makes Sinister a lot better. Keeping her away from Strife is a good thing. She gets that evade, gives it to Sinister. Sinister gives it to the rest of the people. So this is actually really good. It's a little with all those heals. That would be interesting to see how that works. Every turn, somebody's getting some rejuves out there. I wonder how this team plays. I'd be curious to see. Good power levels, good enough placement. I mean, at this stage of the game, the placement really isn't that important anymore. So yeah, I like this. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A for this team. I don't really see anything that you could do that there's an argument for or against. I don't know, bring up the power levels of Mystique a little bit if you want to. She doesn't even need to be that powerful. So I'm going to give you an A. That's a nice job. Nice job. Okay, this has been Jack's Ward Defense Review. Keep in mind, at this stage of the game, if you're a mid-level player, defense doesn't matter so much. So please, please, please invest in your offense first. That's where it's most important. Almost every single one of these teams has a hard counter, if not a couple of just medium counters. So, you know, trying to put a lot of stuff in this before your offense is a bad idea. All right, if you like what you saw, leave a comment down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more of these. I try to put them out on a weekly basis. I got some other videos in the works, but I don't work at this a whole lot. This is just kind of part-time gig for me. Thanks for joining me, though. Remember, don't just have a good game, be good to each other, too. Thanks.